Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you all to the board's June 18th public meeting and call it to order. My name is Kyle Cooper, and I'm the president of the police board. And as always, we want to thank CAN-TV for covering tonight's meeting. It is being live streamed at cantv.org. It is also on the CAN-TV app and televised on CAN-TV 27. Along with myself, we have the following board members in attendance this evening: Vice President Claudia Badillo, Board Member Tyler Hall, Board Member Catherine Liss, Board Member Arlette Porter, Board Member Andrea Safakis, Board Member Justin Terry, and Board Member Cynthia Velasquez. In addition to the police board members, we have the following city officials here with us this evening. We have the First Deputy Superintendent Yolanda Talley, representing the Superintendent of Police, Mr. Larry Snelling. We have the Interim Chief Administrator of the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, Ms. LaKenna White. We have the Deputy Inspector General for Public Safety, Ms. Tobara Richardson. We have the Deputy Director of Chicago Police Department's Bureau of Internal Affairs, Mr. Timothy Moore. We have the Assistant General Counsel to the Superintendent, Mr. Vaughn Ganayu?
Yes.
Okay, I was worried about the pronunciation of that name. Welcome this evening. And as always, we have the police board's executive director, Mr. Max Caproni. Before we proceed to the items on the agenda tonight, I just want to take a moment and have a moment of silence to honor the fallen police officer, Crystal Rivera, who was tragically killed in the line of duty on June 5th. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the board's public and closed meetings held on May 15th?
Yes, so moved.
All in favor, please raise your hands and say aye. Aye. Hearing and seeing all hands raised, or hearing all ayes and seeing all hands raised, the motion passes. The next regular public meeting of the police board is scheduled to take place July 17th at 7:30 p.m. And that meeting will take place where all the Chicago Police Board meetings take place, which is right here at the Chicago Police Board's headquarters, or is the Chicago Police headquarters. The next item on the agenda is closed meetings. The police board meets in executive session to discuss various matters. Those discussions are closed to the public as authorized by Section 2C1, 4, 11, and 21 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Information on matters discussed in the executive sessions is included in the minutes of the meetings posted on our website. Is there a motion to close a series of future executive sessions as authorized by these sections of the Open Meetings Act?
Yes, so moved.
All in favor, please raise your hands and say aye. Aye. Seeing all hands raised and hearing all ayes, the motion passes. The next item on the agenda is a report on minutes and recordings. Earlier today, the board, as required by the Illinois Open Meetings Act, met and considered minutes and recordings of all past closed meetings to determine whether the need for confidentiality still exists. The board members unanimously agreed that it continues to be necessary to keep confidential the recordings of its past closed meetings and portions of its minutes. The board makes available to the public portions of its closed meeting minutes, and these minutes are included in the meeting booklet that is posted on the board's website in advance of each public meeting. The Open Meetings Act permits public bodies to dispose of these recordings of past closed meetings after 18 months. Is there a motion to approve the disposal of the recordings of closed meetings held from July 20th, 2023 through November 16th, 2023?
Yes, so moved.
All in favor, raise your hands and say aye. Aye. Seeing all hands raised and hearing all ayes, the motion passes. The next item on the agenda is police disciplinary cases, which includes taking final action on one case and then an update on the status of the litigation regarding arbitration. The police board hears cases when the superintendent files charges recommending that a sworn officer be discharged from the Chicago Police Department for violating the Chicago Police Department's rules of conduct. The board, as authorized by the Open Meetings Act, has discussed in closed meeting one police disciplinary case. We will now take final action on this case. Regarding case number 24 PB 3041, is there a motion to find police officer Paris Sevier not guilty of failing to reside in the city of Chicago?
Yes, so moved.
I will now call on the members of the board for their votes. Vice President Badillo.
Aye.
Board Member Hall.
Aye.
Board Member Liss. Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Safakis.
Aye.
Board Member Terry.
Aye.
And Board Member Velasquez.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. Voting in favor are board members Badillo, Hall, Liss, Porter, Safakis, Terry, Velasquez, and myself. The motion passes by a vote of 8-0. Is there a motion to adopt the draft of the written findings and decision and recommendation to the superintendent that has been reviewed by all board members who participated in deciding the case?
Yes, so moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing all ayes and seeing all hands raised, the motion passes. The written findings and decision will be entered as of today's date, sent to the parties, and then promptly posted on the police board's website. I will now provide an update on the status of the litigation on the arbitration of police disciplinary cases. As we have reported at previous meetings, the Fraternal Order of Police, which represents Chicago police officers below the rank of sergeant, has appealed two rulings that are part of the March 2024 Circuit Court of Cook County decision that allows officers to choose to have the most serious police disciplinary cases heard by an arbitrator rather than the police board. The case is pending before the Illinois Appellate Court, where the union is challenging the Circuit Court's ruling that arbitration proceedings be open to the public and that the accused officer be suspended without pay while their case is pending. The Appellate Court held oral arguments yesterday, where each side vigorously argued its position before a standing room only crowd. This is clearly a complex and important case and is likely to be at least several months before the Appellate Court issues its decision. There also, after that decision is handed down, may be an appeal to the Illinois Supreme Court. Given the long amount of time it likely will take to resolve the arbitration issue, I just want to take this moment to encourage officers facing the most serious cases of police disciplinary conduct to elect to have their cases heard before the police board rather than wait an indefinite amount of time to proceed in a currently undefined arbitration process. The board closely monitors the amount of time needed to bring disciplinary cases to a hearing and decision, and keeping delays to a minimum is a priority because the accused officer is often suspended without pay when these charges are filed. The case we just ruled on this evening took less than 9 months to decide from the time the officer was served with the charges until the board's final decision, and ultimately resulted in finding that the officer was not guilty of the alleged misconduct. The board is committed to holding fair hearings that uphold the due process rights of all parties, and accused officers in these hearings have the right to cross-examine witnesses, present evidence in their defense and in mitigation, and fully argue their positions. It is currently unclear whether that will be the case with the arbitration. And just for a little factual background, since 2021, the police board has decided 43 cases following a full hearing on the charges. In 37% of those cases, the board ordered the accused officer discharged from the Chicago Police Department. In 35 of those cases, the board imposed a lesser penalty than that recommended by the superintendent. And in 28 of those cases, the board found the officer not guilty of all the accused charges. These outcomes, contrary to some public statements I've seen, reflect a board that takes seriously its responsibility to impartially assess each case on its own merits and ensure that due process is afforded to the accused officer. I can assure you that for as long as I serve as the president, the board will remain committed to that goal. The members of the board, and I can unequivocally say this, are not ideologically driven and do not prejudge cases. Rather, we approach our role as neutral decision makers seriously, and like baseball umpires, tasked with calling balls and strikes based solely on the specific facts presented and the applicable law in each case. The Police Board website, chicago.gov/policeboard, will continue to keep the public informed of any new developments in the ongoing litigation and the status of disciplinary cases currently before the board. I encourage you to check the news and police discipline sections of our website for the most up-to-date information. The next item on the agenda is appeals by disqualified applicants to become Chicago police officers. When a person who applies to become a Chicago police officer is disqualified and removed from the eligibility list due to the results of a background investigation, that person has a right to appeal that decision to this board. The board, as authorized by the Open Meetings Act, has discussed in a closed meeting one appeal. We will now take final action on this appeal. Is there a motion to affirm the disqualification decision for the following appeal? 25 AA06.
Yes, so moved.
I will now call on the members of the board for their vote. Vice President Badillo.
Aye.
Board Member Hall.
Aye.
Board Member Liss.
Aye.
Board Member Porter.
Aye.
Board Member Safakis.
Aye.
Board Member Terry.
Aye.
Board Member Velasquez.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion, and the motion passes. The written decisions of this appeal will be entered as of today's date, sent to the parties, and promptly posted on the police board's website. At this time, I would call on Deputy Commissioner Talley to give her report on behalf of the superintendent.
Good evening. Earlier this month, the Chicago Police Department lost one of our own in the line of duty. Officer Crystal Rivera was a hero who worked to protect our city until the very end. We are thankful for everyone who has reached out with support throughout the past 2 weeks. This support means so much to our grieving CPD family. As we prepare to lay our fallen hero to rest, we are carrying on in her honor and doing everything in our power to make our city safer. Throughout the past few weeks, we have secured numerous large-scale demonstrations to secure the safety of all exercising their First Amendment rights. This past Saturday, we had officers protect more than 15,000 demonstrators who participated in the No Kings rally downtown. Even with this large crowd, our officers ensured the demonstration concluded without any major incident. We've also protected special events like Sueños Fest during a busy Memorial Day weekend, the Puerto Rican Festival, and Parade. We are also planning for upcoming events that include Pride Parade and NASCAR. I want to acknowledge the hardworking men and women of CPD who worked canceled days off and extended tours to secure these events, while our residents and visitors are enjoying our city throughout the summer. Our officers are working to keep everyone safe. Thank you.
Thank you, First Deputy Superintendent Talley. And again, I just want to express my condolences for the loss of Officer Rivera. At this time, I would now like to call on Chief Administrator of COPA, Ms. LaKenya White, to give her report.
Good evening. I would like to provide an update on the complaints we received regarding ICE. COPA has received 5 complaints involving alleged participation by the Chicago Police Department members in activities associated with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. These allegations, in and of themselves, do not fall under COPA's jurisdiction. In the absence of any additional qualifying misconduct, we have referred these complaints to the Office of the Inspector General for review. We also have received fewer than 5 general complaints related to protest activity. COPA will investigate any that contain allegations within our jurisdiction. All others are referred to the Bureau of Internal Affairs. Throughout this process, I have maintained consistent communication with Superintendent Snelling and his team to ensure coordination and transparency. These matters are complex, and often involve a large volume of information, requiring substantial resources and time to address appropriately. I do want to take a moment to send my deepest condolences to First Deputy Superintendent Talley and all the members of the Chicago Police Department regarding the heartbreaking loss of Officer Crystal Rivera. To her daughter, to her family, to her friends, and to whom all are grieving her. You are in our thoughts and in our prayers. There are truly no words that can fully capture the pain of losing someone, especially someone who dedicated their life to service. So often, the public just sees the uniform, blue and white. But behind that uniform is a person, is a human being, is a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a colleague, a loved one. Officer Rivera was all those things and so much more. We at COPA understand the hard work and challenges that officers face day in and day out. We also recognize the stress, the pressure, and the potential trauma that comes with the job, both on and off duty. The sacrifice for those who choose to serve and protect the city is real and is deeply respected and appreciated. So tonight, we honor Officer Rivera's memory, we mourn her loss, and we stand in solidarity with the Chicago Police Department. May her memory be a blessing, and may her family, friends, and colleagues find strength and continue to find strength in the days to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Administrator White, for those powerful words. At this time, I would now like to call upon members of the public who have signed up to speak. Just to make sure, and I don't think that's going to be a problem tonight, that in order to allow everybody who signed up to speak, you just limit your comments to 2 minutes. And so the first person that we do have signed up to speak is Patricia Puente.
It's a concern. I used to be an advocate, or maybe I'm still an advocate. I'm still debating. I fight noise ordinance. I fight race cars. I'm a person that if I see something, I say something. That's who I am. Now, the noise ordinance, I have a picture here.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
That it says 10:30, the latest. I abide by the rules and regulations. That's who I am. And I don't lie. Because I say, God, lying is not good. 12:30, I took that picture at 12, but around 12:30, they were having their loud music at the Cloud Realty, Royalty Realty, whatever, Cloud. They sell realty. And I went and told them, why do you have it so late? I'm going to call the police. Oh, we are the police. I'm like, you are the police? He had a pink shirt. He's like, yeah, I'm the police. I'm like, but look what time it is. That time, it was like around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And he's like, we tell the police what to do. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I called the police. The police went and we're like, well, what can we do? I'm like, are you kidding me? I called various times. Then the police would just pass by and not say anything, and the loud music until around that time, I went out with my phone and I said, this is so ridiculous. It's 12 something. And I went and started taking pictures of all the cars that were there. And they started telling me, I don't know what things, and I'm like, what the heck? If you're the police, you put the rules and regulations and you're not abiding by it? Why? So then why do you expect for the city or the citizens to abide by the law and regulations if you don't abide by them? Did I get bombarded? Oh, man, I'm right now going to court. Thank you very much, and have a nice one.
Thank you, Ms. Puente.
Good evening. I am Melanie Hogan, founder of Love. Now, there was a situation in the 7th District where some teenagers, based on a lie, committed battery against a young man while holding his daughter. Okay? Instead of taking matters into his hands, 23 years old, he made a police report. And that's something rare that we see in this city. The police officer instead vocally and loud enough, because the culprits were literally next door, behind the door, watching everything and listening, and let them know that they did not have to open the door and that there was nothing that could be done about it, which perpetuates and affirms why so many youth are picking up guns and the parents are allowing it, because when the police are called, they're saying we can't do anything about it. So I would like to say, when we allow a continued accumulation of certain offenses, it's an incentive for them to continue to engage in these type of behaviors. Also, CPD, you asked us to allow you all to do your job. And I have been an advocate for that. They asked to let them do their job. Just take the steps, let them do their job. But when you pull up and you say there's nothing that I can do, and then you end up victim blaming the victim, what else is there to do? So if things have gotten out of control to the point where there is nothing that the police can do, just make an announcement and let the residents know that you all are responsible for handling any attacks and, any situations that occur with battery and assault. When crimes are being committed, isn't that why we call the police? Just because you may live in the hood does not mean that you're not a civilian. And it does not mean that you're not teaching your children to be civilian as well. But these are the type of situations that make a civilian handle business on their own. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Hogan. At this time, all members of the public who have signed up to speak have been called. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes, so moved.
All in favor, raise your hand and say aye. Aye. The motion passes and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.